Welcome! In this brand new Roblox fighting game series, we're going to build a complete anime fighter inspired by games like Street Fighter. From movement all the way to combos, special moves, air juggles, cinematic grabs, and much more. But before we can throw a single punch, we need movement that actually feels good. So in Episode 1, we'll build the foundation of our combat system. A 2.5D movement system with auto-facing, jumping, dashing, crouching, and movement that's locked to a fighting game plane. Let's get started. Before writing any code, let's organize the project. Inside replicated storage, create a folder named SF Combat. Inside that folder, add 4 more folders: Shared, Client, Remotes, VFX Templates. The shared folder contains modules used by both the client and server, like config, animation IDs, move lists, and input maps. The client folder contains modules that only run on the player's computer, including our Locomotion system. The remotes folder will stay empty for now. We'll add remote events later as we build multiplayer combat. Now let's create our first shared module. Inside the shared folder, add a module script called config. This file contains all the gameplay settings in one place, making it easy to tweak movement without searching through multiple scripts. The most important values are plane axis and plane normal. Plane axis tells the game which direction fighters are allowed to move. Plane normal defines which direction the camera looks toward the stage. We'll leave plane Z empty for now, because the server will calculate it automatically from the spawn location when the game starts. The rest of the settings are movement values like walking speed, dash speed, jump strength, dash duration, double tap timing, and jump movement. You'll probably fine-tune these values later until the movement feels just right. Next, let's set up our characters. The player uses a normal Roblox R15 character. For the training dummy, we're using an R6 rig named Dummy. R6 keeps things simple, and later in the series, it'll make ragdoll effects much easier to implement. Place a spawn location on your stage. The server reads the spawn position to determine the shared fighting plane, the dummy position, and even the arena boundaries. Back inside config, add one more setting called dummy name and set it to dummy. The key idea is that both fighters always stay on the same invisible line, making the game feel like a classic 2D fighter, even though it's built in a full 3D world. Now, for the heart of today's episode, the Locomotion module. Create a module script called Locomotion inside the client folder. This module controls walking, jumping, dashing, crouching, auto-facing, and directional input. It's a fairly large script, so go ahead and paste in the full code first. You'll also need a tiny Ultil module in client with getHumanoid and getHRP helpers, and an InputMap module in shared that maps keycodes to left, right, down, jump, and the attack buttons. Those are trivial, just constants, so I'll leave them in the description. Then let's break down how it works. When the module starts, the very first thing it does is disable Roblox's default character movement. Auto-rotate is turned off. Walk speed is set to 0. Instead of relying on Roblox's built-in controls, we move the character manually every frame. Every heartbeat, the step function runs. It calculates the player's horizontal movement based on their current input. Whether you're walking, dashing, or controlling your character in the air, everything goes through this function. At the same time, it constantly applies a correction to the Z-axis. This keeps her character perfectly locked onto the fighting plane. Even if physics tries to push you forward or backward, you'll always snap back into position. This small detail is what creates that classic 2.5D fighting game feeling. Jumping works a little differently than Roblox's default system. We temporarily enable platform stand before launching the player upward. Because of that, Roblox thinks the character is always in the air, so we can't rely on floor material to detect landing anymore. Later in the series, our rising special attacks use exactly the same system. In fact, this solved a bug where special moves launch the player into the air, but never let them land again. The helper function called Rise Launch uses the exact same setup as a normal jump, ensuring everything lands correctly. Another important function is Update Facing. Instead of rotating the character every frame, it only rotates when the opponent crosses to the opposite side. That small optimization keeps jumps looking smooth. If you constantly force the character to rotate while airborne, the jump arc starts to feel stiff and unnatural. The module also calculates fighting game directional input using classic Numpad notation. Forward becomes 6, down becomes 2, down forward becomes 3, and so on. We're not using this yet, but in a future episode, it'll power quarter circle motions, dragon punches, and every special move input. Finally, let's wire everything together. Inside starter player scripts, create a local script called SF Combat Client. This script disables Roblox's default movement controls. Whenever the player's character spawns, it creates and starts the Locomotion module. Later episodes will initialize additional systems like attacks, hitboxes, combos, and special moves from here. One important detail is how the fighting plane is synchronized. The server stores plane Z as an attribute on the SF Combat folder. The client simply reads that value into config. The script also finds the dummy and passes it to the Locomotion module, so the character always knows which direction to face. Let's test everything. Press play. Walk left and right. Your character should stay locked to the fighting plane and automatically face the dummy whenever you cross to the opposite side. Double tap either direction to dash. Press space to jump. Hold down to crouch. If your character never lands, double check that ground Y is being recorded when the jump starts. If your character slowly drifts toward or away from the camera, make sure the plane correction code is running every heartbeat. And if your controls feel backwards, verify your plane normal and screen sign settings. And that's our movement system finished. In the next episode, we'll finally start fighting by building hitboxes and the complete client-to-server hit detection system. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the rest of this anime fighting game series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.